Hello, John Carroll Lynch here. Hello, I'm here. And American Horror Story has been a big part of my life and a big part of my work, and it's been a joy to be on that show for a lot of different reasons. That's about it for now. I just have one little tiny piece of advice, which is don't go out there.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network, so there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. And we're continuing on with American Horror Story Season 3 Coven, Episode 6, The Axeman Cometh. This was another good episode. I don't know if it was quite as good as like 4 and 5, but it was still a good episode. And, I think I may have mentioned it on the show earlier, but we get that Danny Houston appearance finally. He was in 30 Days a Night many, many moons ago, and I think he has great presence on screen. And, yeah, the story just continued on well, and it was another good episode. Brian, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was okay. It was a bit of a letdown after the last two. I liked the Axeman character. I think I would have liked to have seen it done a different way. Like maybe a whole episode or at least 75% of it maybe committed to the Axeman like in 1919. And I'm not sure I was a huge fan of the way that he was used in the present nor how it concluded. So also don't love how deaths are starting to not feel like they mean much because, they're just all being brought back to life. And, if these witches can do that, why aren't we just bringing everybody back that's dead throughout the years? I don't know. I like the way that they use the Ouija board aspect, but maybe don't tell us who it is on the other end. Maybe make it a 2-episode arc. I don't know. I'm not a writer, but it's just what I would have liked to have seen, I guess. I'm liking this push, though, with Zoe towards possibly being the next Supreme, like we all said last episode. And there's plenty of good with it. I just, I liked the yet another twist. Twist his neck with Hank. Crazy. It was still a fine episode. It was just okay. I didn't love it. And sorry, I was rambling on because I'm doing scene by scene.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you here, Brian. I thought the episode was just okay. Like, it moved the story along fine, but added some stuff that I'm unsure about. They may pay this Axeman thing off later, but I agree. It's the first thought I had once we were introduced in the opening scene. I'm like, we're kind of late to introduce a new piece of this, in my opinion. Like, I know, not that new characters can't be introduced, but almost like another ghost, another antagonist figure, like another mystery to solve. I feel like we have enough of those personally.
Yeah, and to jump on what you just said, like, is he like alive now in real life, or is he still a spirit, or is he back in human form? Like, it makes.
I agree. I don't know exactly what they're doing there. It's not that I'm not interested. I just wish it had been done, kind of like you said, differently. Like, give us more backstory earlier in the series. Let us know who the Axeman is. Maybe not a standalone episode, but just more. Like, need to know that this guy's a big deal, because now by the very end of the episode, he's clearly going to be a big deal, at least for a little bit. So that kind of annoyed me, but maybe it feels like a nitpick. I don't know, but I felt like this episode had some stuff that I did like. Like, I like this stuff with Cordelia now. I wasn't a fan before. You know, you mentioned Hank, that twist. Angela Bassett is a fucking beast. I love her. And I'm interested in Zoe for the first time in this series because of last week. I said it last week, and so her arc continues to interest me. But not the Ouija board stuff. I think we know how I feel about that. I'm like, okay. So I see how they're trying to tie the A and B plot together, but I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling too. I thought it was just okay.
You didn't like the Ouija board stuff, but the whole witch thing, you're cool. You're cool with all that.
Yeah. One's kind of cool. One's a toy for kids. So there you go.
No fucking kids better be using a Ouija board.
Yeah, well.
I didn't really care for this episode. It's not great. I'm not saying it was a bad episode. It wasn't up to the standard I think they've set for themselves. And I remember after I watched it, I was like, yeah, I think I felt the same way the first time I saw this season. I just think they're like, I don't know what the process is for writing TV shows like seasons. I don't know if they have all 13 episodes written at the time they start the first one, but to me it feels like they did 5 episodes and they're like, all right, now let's add something else. Like, it just feels like the Axeman storyline was added at a very odd and just not basically an inconvenient time. And it was rushed, like you guys said. Like, we introduce him, show us a little flashback of basically show us his lore in before we get the opening credits. And then we move on from it. And then we're like, oh, by the way, he's a part of this. So it didn't really work for me there. Now, there are things that I like that I'll get into my scene by scene. Angela Bassett, I don't have anything really about her in my notes, but I want to take this time to say that about 5 days ago, I watched What's Love Got to Do with It, the Ike and Tina Turner story, and Angela Bassett plays Tina Turner. My God, what a performance. And I'm just going to say this, Tina Turner is one of the strongest women to ever live because Ike Turner. Bro.
Great biopic. Great biopic.
Awesome. Ike Turner makes me look like the most feminist man alive.
Oh, was that out loud? Sorry.
No. Yeah.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it.
Great song. Eat the cake, anime.
Nico, what you think, brother?
I didn't really love it.
No, I was just going to say I got this in my notes as well, but I don't disagree. But it's one of my biggest nitpicks with just all American Horror Story seasons. Just like there's so many characters, so many storylines going on, and I do like the Axeman character. I like Danny Houston as well, but it's just like I agree with y'all. It's another character. 6 episodes in, we're basically halfway through the season, and now we got a whole nother storyline. And I know where this storyline goes with him, with the ending, but I mean, it's just like we've already got a lot going on, and now we're adding a whole nother aspect to it to follow along with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with you saying that, so at least he is going to come back. I kind of was half assuming that was going to be the end.
He's all the way through the finale with one of our main characters.
Okay, so is he alive or is he still a spirit? Can you say that, or is it spoil something?
Shitting me if I remember, man. This is a fresh rewatch, basically. I just remember what happens to him with at the end.
Okay,
he ends up spending eternity with one of them.
I just want to also point out that Brian, in his scene-by-scene breakdown in our shared note, called this episode "The Axeman Cometh," in parentheses Billy Gunn. But I want to let you know that it's actually Larry Hennig, Kurt Hennig's dad, the Axeman, that's coming. So,
oh, okay, that's fair. And we had to redo the opening to this episode twice because Nico called him the Axeman because I wrote it.
Yeah,
you know how often I just say to myself, "I'm an ass man." Pew, pew. I'm a
Hey, so
nice man.
funny story about when I was in Vegas for WrestleMania. My friend Cody and I that I went with, we saw Billy Gunn and Road Dogg at WrestleCon, and he got a picture with him and everything. And I was calling him Billy Ass because that's what
Mr. Ass.
Danhausen calls him. I was
Yeah.
Billy Ass.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he took a picture of Road Dogg, and Road Dogg said, "Point to his dick," and then he took the picture. And so I said, "Does that make you Billy Ass? Or am I Billy Ass and you're my ass boy?" And then I was like, whoa, that was super pause worthy. My bad. I called my friend Cody my ass boy. So,
Dude, I literally see Road Dogg Jesse James probably once or twice a month coming into my place of business, and he is scary. I don't want to go up and talk to him. Like he may be the nicest guy in the world, but I just feel like I'm always bothering celebrities if I walk up and just walk up there.
He was super nice at WrestleCon, but then again, he was getting paid to be there. But I did tell him that SmackDown needs him. That they made the wrong choice in letting him go. Anyway, this isn't a wrestling podcast. Go ahead.
You're right. Anything else before I jump into this, fellas?
No, sir.
All right. We open up with a 1919 to the title card. I'm going to start that. That's what I'm going to start saying. And hear the words of who we find out to be a serial killer by the name of the Axeman. Our guy claims to be the culprit of a string of recent murders, many of which targeted women. We also find out that this is a letter written to the local papers with a threat and a specific set of instructions that says he's partial to jazz. Hey, who isn't? He tells the public if they do not play jazz music loudly in their homes, HOAs be damned, on Tuesday, that's how the English say it, on Tuesday, he will break in, give them a case of the murder. In Miss Rogashaw's academy, the witches concoct a plan to put an end to this craziness. We fast forward to Tuesday, and the Axeman is walking the streets of Nolens to the sound of jazz playing everywhere. He's happy until he comes across the academy. He says, fuck these bitches, goes in to slay some sass out of these girls, but immediately falls into a trap set by the girls themselves, and they give him a case of the deads. In the present, to summarize quickly, Zoe is going through Madison's shit when a bottle rolls to her closet, revealing a secret panel hiding a compartment where she finds a Ouija board. They use it to find out the Axeman is a spirit still in the hizzy, which is rather convenient. And we finish this set of scenes with Queenie blowing out the candle after the incident.
Yeah, I like the start of this episode back in 1919, and it's great to see Danny Houston. You know, I've already mentioned it, but we've seen him on the movie review show in 30 Days and Nights many moons ago. That's actually a movie I wouldn't mind re-reviewing one day if Brian wanted to ever do that, just because we've gotten so much better at doing this. Great acting and choreography amongst the ladies as they read about the Axeman. I thought the timing, the camera work, and the score that was going along, I thought it was all fantastic with him. And I mentioned this earlier as well. While I do like Danny Houston and the Axeman character, it's just one of the qualms I have with pretty much every American Horror Story season that I've watched. There's another character just in story to keep up with, and there's already a lot going on already, and it's just another ingredient. And all right, ladies, hit the Axeman with some razzle-dazzle. I like that. Stab the fuck out of this guy. Weekly reminder of the American Horror Story theme and video. It's elite. I don't skip it. Ouija boards, immediate nope for me. I don't know about y'all. I know Mike said he's cool with them, but nope, never playing with one. Last thing, nice reveal. It's not Madison, and it's the Axeman answering the questions with the Ouija board. I thought it was a pretty good opening.
First of all, we don't, when we did 30 Days of Night, I was giving out much kinder scores. I've gone back and looked. I'm like, I don't know if I like that movie as much as I said I did. So sure, go ahead and pick it. Let's re-review it. I don't know. I like Josh Hartnett. Look, I love the sound of a typewriter. Like just that cut. Love it. And we kind of ranted about it in the open, so I won't spend a ton of time on it here, but I had it in my notes. We're introducing another character, huh? This soup already tastes pretty good, in my opinion. I don't feel like we need any more spice. I feel like we've got quite enough seasoning in this soup. I don't know if we need another ingredient, but I'll keep an open mind. Maybe it plays out. I was happy to see a bloody kill, finally. I know we've seen a couple in the last episode, but it took us freaking ever to get some good kills. So I was happy to see that. And this show, one thing it does do well, does a great job of capturing the time period to me, no matter what time period they're in. So if they're back in the 1800s, if they're in 1919, it feels like that time. So shout out to them for set design, costume design, things like that. I think they did a great job. You're right, Nico. They ate Axeman's ass up. God damn, stabbed that motherfucker more times than Nicole and Ron. Oh, never mind. Anyway, sorry. OJ's son did it, not OJ. He rushed for 2,000 yards, man. Come on. He would never do that. Never do that. Anyway, Ouija boards. Kind of said this already, but not scary. Don't really see the significance here. It just looked like Queenie was kind of guiding it the whole time. I don't know. Anyway, I just wish, last thing I have, Dustin, is I just wish we had gotten the Axeman already. So this would mean a little bit more to me, add a little bit more weight. Basically, all we get for backstory is the first 3 minutes of this episode. So all in all, I thought it was fine. I was just a little annoyed that we're getting another layer to this. I think it has the right amount.
So, yeah, it was an interesting open because as a fan of noir films, I perked up a bit. Like, I love that gray character. He's not white, he's not black, kind of gray, morally ambiguous character doing the narration of his. Like, I love those kinds of movies like Sunset Boulevard, which I know Nico also likes. But
Sin City.
Sin City, that's a more modern one, sure. Absolutely. I was a fan of that style of the open, and to be honest with you, it kind of makes me wish that they would do an entire season of this show in that style. That would be awesome. I like seeing Danny Houston as the Axeman too. Ever since he played Stryker, he's always been a villain to me, and I know Brian, Nico, and Mike get that reference. Shout out to Wolverine. I will say though, and you guys said it too, the show adding yet another storyline now, 6 episodes in, that isn't my favorite thing. Zoe's whole rallying the troops, that bit fell flat for me too. We need to have each other's backs. You're a Coven. That should be a given. And then Queenie taking the Miss Independent role annoyed me. You almost died. Some bad stuff. Look outside. Look around you. Some bad stuff is happening. Shut up. Have each other's backs. Woman power. Girls always support girls in the comments on social media, but that's the only place. Ain't that right, Nico?
Facts.
But yeah, it's just not the best open to me.
Facts. Well, and we can bring people back to life, but our Supreme apparently has to go through chemotherapy. So whatever happened to the whole Shang Tsung soul sucker stuff we got at the start of this, I don't know. But anyway, we're at the hospital, and Fiona is freaking out some, but is calmed by her own words and just wants one more chance at love. Back at the house, the only 3 witches left browse the interwebs, learning about the Axeman, and deduce that the 1919 witches killed him pretty quickly. Against others' advice, Zoe does what the fuck she wants, son, and contacts him, making a deal for his freedom if he will direct her to Madison's body. We head up to the attic, and the girls discover what we already knew. Spaulding is up there fucking Madison's dead body. And we are led to believe that Spaulding catches her when we cut away. So we cut back to Cordelia's room where Fiona's getting everything set up when Hank the fuck tank enters the room, and Cordelia gets a flash of him and fucking Alexander Breckenridge from last episode. Got him. So Hank is out, and Cordelia gets a flash of Myrtle's execution when she touches Fiona. Miss a day, miss a lot, Cordelia. Can I call you Cords? We're going to go to that. Back to the giant dickless attic of the corpse sex, we see that Zoe easily escaped Spaulding's strong hand child and now has him tied up with Nan, reading his responses since he can't talk with no tongue. Spaulding fake confesses to killing Madison himself, which makes no sense because Zoe doesn't believe him anyway. We cut to Misty Day. Fun fact, in 8th grade, I mean like girlfriends, whatever you do in 8th grade, a Misty, Summer, and a Breeze in 8th grade. And my dad and his friends used to make fun of me and said that I only liked weather-conditioned stripper names. So anyway, sorry to our 2 female listeners who may be named that. Anyway, Misty's watering a body in her garden when Kyle XY shows back up, and we end this set of scenes with Misty telling Kyle he needs a bath, and the next set of scenes is the ending.
Yeah, being a mind reader, being able to hear voices at a cancer treatment center, that just seems like a nightmare. And if I'm Fiona, I would have crashed out as well. It just reminded me of that old saying. It's like, if you put all of your problems in with everyone else's problems in a bucket, would you want to pick someone else's? I don't know, it made me think of that, but Terrible place to be reading other people's minds and thoughts. Zoe going rogue here and even dirty talking the Axeman, reading that Ouija board good night. And well, shit, Zoe finds Madison, but creepy ass Spalding catches her first. I thought, not good, Bob, not good. I thought it was great makeup on Sarah Paulson to show like her acid burns and her eyes. I thought it was fantastic. Hank, yeah, brother, you might want to get out of here ASAP. Cordelia done figured you out, homeboy. She knows you're cheating. She knows you got some bull jive going on. Fiona already hates your ass. You might as well just leave. And damn, this flashback, what a pathetic showing by Spalding. How do you get bullied by little ass Zoe this easily? That's just pathetic. Elite lying by Spalding here. Dustin, are you impressed by this man's ability to lie? I feel like you had to be proud of this man.
I was a little bit. Never let him see sweat.
There you go. Hey, good point. And what's the point of Queenie burning herself to hurt Spalding? Like, this did not make any sense to me. Like, just burn him. Like, why are you going to burn yourself? I didn't get that part. I thought it was great transition camera work to the Bayou with Misty Day. I loved it. More Stevie Nicks. Hell yeah. Leather and Lace. That's a banger of a tune. Last thing I got, I thought it was another decent set of scenes. Go ahead, Mike.
You're right, Nico. Like, that makes no fucking sense. He's tied up, and all you're doing is transferring the burn anyway. Just fucking burn him. What?
Yeah,
And that's not the first time she's done that. It's annoying.
It makes no sense. I don't understand it. Okay. But maybe it's some like fake out measure. I don't know. It didn't work for me, brother. Now, Fiona is like me for real. I know I say this every week, but me and her got a lot in common. We love being heels, but I also hate the doctor. Hate going to the doctor. And she looks like she would rather be anywhere else but sitting at the doctor. So, goddamn, I feel the same way. Shout out to all the good doctors, but still, I hate being there. It would also creep me out if I knew a stranger was able to just know that I was getting ready for my daughter's wedding and I might not make it. That's creepy. These three with the board, like Zoe's story picks up in this last half of the episode, but this stuff with the three of them, I really could care less about. And I wrote this down, and it's answered pretty quickly, but I have to put it in here. I said, wait a minute. Why the fuck would the attic smell like ass? And then maybe 10 seconds later, oh, yeah, there's a rotting corpse in there. That makes sense. Fucking Emma Roberts is up there, which I know that she would never smell like ass, so it has to be her dying corpse instead. Understand. I agree, Nico. The effects on Sarah Paulson's eyes look awesome. I think adding this layer to Cordelia's character, I wasn't like super on board for, but now I am because it has added something. It's a hell of a way to get caught in your affair, though, right? Like, I know we said it last week, but like, you think you've got the perfect deal going on, and this is how you get caught. She adds another power to her repertoire, and she can see you do everything. That would fucking suck if I was getting away with it. Just throwing that out there. She also sees Myrtle get burned. Look, and she gets upset about that. Fiona does the things that have to be done. All right. That's just what she does. Things had to get taken care of. So the family bloodline, throw your ones up. The bloodline has to carry on. Okay. So Fiona does things that have to get done. Spalding is a freak. Good night almighty. I mean, I know he liked to like dress up and all this other stuff, but he's out there. I mean, they got into graphic detail about necrophilia. I really wasn't a big fan of that. Last thing, I had the same thing, Dustin. Why the hell did she put it against her own face to burn someone else when she could have just burnt that person? Makes absolutely zero sense.
The only thing I can figure with that is it's like a psychological warfare. Like, it would be pretty trippy to know that you can hurt me, but you're doing this to yourself and I'm feeling it. Like, maybe that's it. I don't know. Fiona's battle with mortality continues to evolve. I thought that was a good scene to show she's going through more than what we previously knew. And it's all a facade. It's her toughness and her hard assness, if that's a word. It's all a facade. She does have emotions and feelings. The Axeman disappeared in 1919, the same year the Chicago White Sox had the Black Sox scandal. Coincidence? You be the judge. Zoe finding Madison's body, that had to be the shock of her lifetime. And that's saying something considering that her whisker biscuit kills fellas. Kind of wild that Cordelia is just now confronting her husband about his affair. Like, it seems like something she would have talked to him about either in the hospital before they left or at least on the car ride home. But she waits till she's in her bedroom. And I know that it's just for like the dramatic effect. Like they wanted to shoot that scene in that location. But realistically, I know women. They ain't holding on to that shit until they get home. Spalding, he is way too loyal to Fiona. Saying he killed Madison is crazy. Bro, she doesn't love you. Don't with go through all this extra punishment for something that you didn't. And everybody knows. They knew he didn't do it. Finally catching back up with Misty here. And oh, look, Kyle too. Feels like a very cluttered episode to me. Like it's the eliminating of certain storylines in the past couple episodes has been kind of refreshing. We're focusing on a couple things and we're putting together really good episodes based on these specific storylines. And now we're like, hey, we got to bring everything back together. So I'm ready for the ending.
All right, here it is. And I don't know who split these scene by scenes up because this is kind of a lot here. We open up with Misty giving Kyle a bath, and I don't even have anything funny to say because after finding out his trauma, it is pretty fucked up, and I kind of feel bad for the dude now. But Zoe shows up as he starts hulking out on everything and says, "The sun's getting real low, big guy." That's an MCU reference, Nico and Mike. They tie up Kyle because, hey, trust. And Zoe begs Misty to bring Madison back to life now, and again I ask, why is she not the Supreme if she can do this shit? And not just her, because she needs Zoe's Super Burrito Supreme powers. And hey, Madison's back. Because, as Vigo the Carpathian says in Ghostbusters 2, death is but a door, and I'll be back. Speaking of back at Cornrow City, which makes me laugh every time, sorry. Hank shows up, and we find out, holy shit, he's been a double secret agent the whole time and was planted by Marie into the Coven to begin with to kill the witches. To which we get to see Alexander Breckenridge was. I guess the fucking part was just maybe his idea, but hey, I get it. Hank accuses Marie of the acid, and it makes his job harder, and then she denies it, blah, 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 and she orders him to kill the rest of the academy and bring back their heads. Back at the academy, all the girls swear to keep Madison's revival a secret, and about Kyle, and Misty dips out and says she's got bad vibes about the academy. We then cut to Cordelia, who encounters the Axeman spirit, I guess. And then we cut back to Madison, who says she can't remember shit. And by the way, there's nothing after death. Don't like that. Back in Cordelia's bedroom, the Axeman's causing some ruckus, and Zoe and Nan and Queenie decide to do an incarnation to save her and bring back the Axeman, who we see leaving the academy and walks to a bar, because I guess he's back to being fully alive now, ? Where he meets up with Fiona and asks to buy her a drinky drink, which confused me, but that's the end. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, Kyle crashing out with some PTSD, reliving mom sexually abusing him. Can't blame him for that. This crash out is extra fun because Evans is butt-ass naked. Not that I want to see him naked, but, it just makes you think. It's like, I don't ever want to get in a fight, dick swinging and all that. He's breaking chairs, crashing out radios. Like, that would have been I don't know. That would have been stressful for me because there ain't much swinging down there. But anyway, Hank visiting Marie. I'm sure this is going to go well. The makeup on Madison Montgomery is incredible as well. AHS is not playing around when it comes to their effects this year, or their makeup effects this year. Lily Rabe as Misty has great on-screen presence. Her facial acting and voice inflection, I think, has been sensational considering how little time she's gotten on screen so far. Hell of a scream by Madison when she's resurrected. And I laughed at Marie. I look like the Taliban or something. That cracked me up. Angela Bassett is shining right now as well, snapping on Hank for his failures at the Coven. I think she's doing a great job. Hank is what we say is in between a rock and a hard place with his task from Marie. Dude, I feel bad for that brother. And yeah, no shit, there's bad vibes in the house. Fiona is a jealous murderer, and Spalding is as fucked up as a soup sandwich. Like, what the hell? What'd you think, Lily? Axeman appears in the room suddenly with a newly blinded Cordelia. I'm sure this will go well. Valid reaction by Madison. Ginger ale is disgusting. I don't know if y'all like ginger ale, but it's not one of my favorite drinks. Great tension between Cordelia and Axeman. Like, I think this scene is really good. This dude is scary as hell. Good review talk, I know, but I thought this scene was very tense between them two. Zoe with John Madden analysis saying the door's locked after they tried to open it several times. Like, yeah, thanks, Zoe. Go to hell, ladies first. We love a gentleman. Cordelia is freaking out, and Nan, instead of saying anything, just lets her keep screaming. She's blind, not deaf. Come on, sis. What are we doing? Last thing I got, Mike, looks like Fiona is going to get her man to be with one last time. I thought it was a pretty good episode. It wasn't as good as the past two, but I thought it was pretty good still.
That was funny. I thought you turned into Dustin for a minute because it cut out right after you said, "Go to hell, ladies."
Yeah, I was like, damn, that was strong. All right.
No, my internet's tweaking.
Atta boy. Sorry, cough right into the mic. I know Brian loves that. Probably could have gone without seeing Jeffrey Dahmer in his ass and getting a bath. I mean, that was a little tough. I know it's not his name, but damn it, he embodied that character so much. Just makes him want to get a brewski, you know? Again, probably could have gone without that, but the crash out was hilarious. Like I thought that was a fun part of the episode. My only thing is, somebody kill this dude, right? I mean, he's kind of been a menace, a nuisance. He can't talk. He can't really do much of anything but yell and pout and murder. And so I feel like maybe putting this guy out of his misery is kind of the humane thing to do. I don't know what they're keeping him alive for. And now he's taking away the damn Stevie Nicks. Come on, man. Got to do a little bit better than that, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. Look, they bring Emma back, which I was very excited about because I've been saying it ever since she left this show. I was like, man, Madison was awesome because of course, well-written character, great acting. That would be the only reason. Nothing of the sort of any kind of weird thing with Emma Roberts. Just giving her flowers is all. I was happy to see Madison Montgomery back into the show here. The twist here with Hank, where he's kind of a double, triple, quadruple agent going on here. Like, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And I already mentioned on top of the show, but Angela Bassett is great. Like, I wish there has been, and maybe there will be, and Nico, you've seen it, and I know Dustin's seen it. I want her featured more prominently throughout the rest of the series. Like, give me more monologue scenes with her. Give me more of her being evil, because that is really good, captivating stuff. She gives a hell of a performance. Also, Madison painted a dark picture, no pun intended, of what happens in the afterlife. That was tough. It said nothing but black. And I was like, all right, I mean, man, I don't want Brian to have to cut anything, so I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to move on. Love you, bud. I'm not sure I'd want to die and be brought back. I'm not sure that's something I'd want to do. Kind of feel like, once I'm gone, I'll just enjoy whatever happens on the other side. My only thing with Cordelia in this room, and maybe I missed it, wouldn't her blindness gave her some extra powers or something, right? Like, wouldn't she, and she's a witch, wouldn't she be able to blast this motherfucking Axeman through the wall or the window or something, move him around, shake him down? I don't know. It feels like she played innocent final girl like Laurie Strode from 78. Like I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd. But we get an Exorcist nod here with this guy at the gate in the suit, and that's an overrated ass movie. You can listen to that review though at don'tgoouthere.com. And my last thing here is, don't do this, Fiona. Don't shack up with this man. Nico is at home waiting on you. Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, first of all, I want to touch on something that Nico said about ginger ale. Fun fact, I've never in my life tasted ginger ale. I have no idea what it tastes like. Couldn't tell you. I just assume it's like a spicy Sprite. I don't know.
Hold on. What else is there something that you've not had that's pretty common?
The warm embrace of a woman.
No, it's like a food or something. Like I remember us talking about it on the show a long time ago. It's like you've never had it or something. It was either a food or a drink.
There's a ton of foods There's a ton of foods I haven't had.
This shit's gonna bother me. I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and remember and text you, but you'll get mad that I did it.
I set my phone to do not disturb now. But if it ain't chicken tendies and sweet potatoes, I don't really care about eating it or ass. Anyway, so let's just move on.
Ocho.
I ran out of pee-pee. Kyle needs to be put down here, point blank. Mike, I had that too. Bro is miserable. Just put him down. And Misty saying, get him out of here. He broke Stevie. That line, for some reason, just pissed me off. It annoyed me so bad. He didn't break Stevie. Grow up. He broke your record. He didn't break Stevie. Anyway. So she brought Madison back. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. But I think her movie career is over. There is not enough CeraVe in the world to remedy her skin issues. She looks rough. Seeing Hank is in business with Marie Laveau, that's a wild development. Did not expect that. We get Madison trying to figure out what happened to her and the Axeman visiting with Cordelia. But it's just not – it's too little too late, I think. It's not enough to make me love this episode. I also don't get how Zoe and the others were able to run to Cordelia's room, discover it's locked, and then run all the way downstairs, find a book, and cast a spell, all before the Axeman did anything. It's almost as if Cordelia was never in any danger other than the danger of her blind ass stumbling all around the room, which was kind of funny to watch. And, of course, the Axeman finds Fiona in her moment of relationship weakness. That was a decent cliffhanger to end on, and I do like the noir stuff in this episode, but like I said, it's probably my least favorite one so far.
And I don't know if you find out more about this, and I guess you guys don't really remember, but I don't understand how Fiona can bring people back to life, bring a baby back to life, but has cancer. And also she can suck out the souls of people, be younger for a little while, but can't do that anymore. And yet she's dying of cancer. So I don't get it.
Also,
cancer's equal opportunity.
Bill Clinton had his soul sucked out in the Oval Office. So what's the problem here? Oh, sorry.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
But speaking of her being able to resurrect people, I mean, if you go back to when she killed Madison, that was an act. She didn't intend to kill Madison. So why wouldn't she just resurrect her there to save herself the trouble of the council coming to visit her?
There you go. Good point.
Or at least once she found out that Madison wasn't the next Supreme, like, oh shit, okay, let's bring Madison back.
But was she? Like, for real, was she? And then, like, maybe since she's dead, it got passed on to Zoe? I don't know how any of that shit works.
Wouldn't it?
Fiona didn't seem too sad.
That's true.
That's my thing. Wouldn't it make sense that she didn't do that to just have Madison out of the way? Like, if she was the next in line, maybe that's not who she would have wanted. Maybe she wanted to keep it in her bloodline, so now Madison's out of the way, won't cause any problems like Myrtle. No? That kind of is the way I view it.
But that would make sense if Madison was going to be the next Supreme, I think. But if she's not, I mean, which I can't remember if it was Myrtle or Cordelia that said she's not one of those two. But
yeah,
I think it's Cordelia.
I don't think she was, because we're seeing with Zoe, I can't remember. I don't remember if it's revealed. But regardless, you're saying who said that? Yeah. She's not the next Supreme. Let's bring her back. That way we don't have the council crawling up my ass, causing all kinds of problems. Instead, we're going to let Misty do it with some mud.
I don't know how the next Supreme thing is figured out. I don't know.
Well, she thought it was going to be Madison because how pretty she was, how powerful she was, but
yeah, she was showing these new powers, and you have to have like 5 powers or something at one time, or more than 3 or some shit, and she was showing more than 3.
Yeah. But honestly, I think Fiona just didn't like her because she was young and pretty, and she's not young and pretty anymore.
Yeah, she was jealous for sure. But can't she suck the soul out of people and get prettier?
Nico, let us know.
I don't know. Yeah, let us know, buddy.
About what?
Man said Man said the best scene in the whole episode was seeing Evan Peters' ass. That's pretty tough. I don't know what's going on with that.
Don't project onto me.
I'm not going to make any more comments. Yeah. Let's get out of here.
All right, y'all. I just want to say thanks for listening. If you haven't, don't forget to hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, write us a good review. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast at. Apple, leave us a good review. That's where we get most of our traction. We really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,